Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're not just throwing random football predictions today at you, we're hunting edges. I'm using a stats model that gives us a hit rate and a fair odds line for every match. Then we compare that to the bookie odds and only touch the spots where we've actually got value, where our probability is higher than the price they're offering. So if I say over 1.5 goals or over 2.5 goals in a game, you'll see the model hit rate, the fair odds, and the edge on screen. That way you're not betting vibes, you're betting numbers. Remember, it's still football, nothing is guaranteed, but if you stack these small edges over time, you start thinking like a pro bettor, not a casual. Grab a drink, manage your stakes, and let's dive into today's best value plays. First game of the card, we're in the Netherlands, AZ Alkmaar, at the AFAS Stadion hosting Jagiellonia from Poland. European night vibes, good crowd, AZ strong at home, Jaga more of a live underdog rather than a big favorite here. For this one, I'm not overcomplicating it, we're going straight to the goals markets. My model gives around a 90% chance that we see at least 2 goals in this game. Turn that into fair odds, and you get roughly 1.11 for over 1.5. The bookies are hanging 1.2 to you, so that's about an 8% value edge on our numbers. Not crazy, but it's solid, steady profit territory if you keep taking these over time. If you want to be a bit more aggressive, over 2.5 is also interesting. The model has that hitting about 69% of the time, which converts to fair odds around 1.45. Markets are giving us 1.63, so here the value gap is even bigger, roughly plus 12% edge based on the difference between our fair price and the line on the screen. For me, the main play is over 1.5 goals, using that high hit rate as a foundation piece in a daily slip. Over 2.5 can be your add-on if you're comfortable taking a bit more variance for better value. As always, this isn't free money. Football is still football, but we're trying to think like pros. Only touching spots where the model probability is higher than the book's implied probability and stacking these small edges over the long run. So AZ Alkmaar versus Jagiellonia, primary lean, over 1.5 goals. Optional higher risk value, over 2.5 goals. Bet small, stay disciplined, and let the edge do the work. Next up, we go to Prague for Sparta Praha versus Aberdeen in the Europa Conference League at the EPET Arena. Sparta at home are aggressive, averaging close to 2 goals scored per game recently, while Aberdeen are leaking goals in Europe, conceding over 2 per match on average. My model gives around a 90% hit rate for over 1.5 total goals here. That translates to fair odds of about 1.11. Bookmakers are offering 1.115 on over 1.5, so there's a small positive edge of roughly plus 3 to 4%. It's not a crazy value spot, but it is a solid, low-risk piece to anchor an accumulator. So for this game, we're keeping it simple. Primary bet, over 1.5 total goals. We're backing Sparta's attacking form, Aberdeen's shaky defense, and a loud European night in Prague to deliver at least 2 goals. Next up, we're in France, at Strasbourg's Stade de la Mano, where they host Breidablik. This is exactly the kind of game where we try to think like a pro, not a fan. My model gives the over 1.5 goals an estimated hit rate of 94%. So in plain terms, 9 times out of 10, this matchup should see at least 2 goals. If we turn that 94% into so-called fair odds, we get around 1.06. That's the price the market should be offering if everything was perfectly efficient. But today, the bookies are hanging out 1.112 on over 1.5. It's not a life-changing edge, but it is a positive value gap. We believe the real chance of 2 or more goals is higher than what those odds imply. Strasbourg's attacking style at home against a Breidablik side that prefers open games fits that picture. As always, nothing is guaranteed. Variance is real. But this is the kind of small, repeatable edge we want if we're trying to bet like professionals and not just chase vibes. Dinamo Kiev versus FC Noah, and this one is all about value. We're looking at the over 1.5 goals line. The bookies are offering 1.29, which says this only lands about 77% of the time. My numbers are higher. Based on both teams' recent scoring patterns and how open these European ties usually get, I've got over 1.5 hitting around 87% of the time. That gives us fair odds of roughly 1.15, so anything above that is technically value, and 1.29 is a big gap in our favor. The catch is that, unlike some of our other plays, this is below the 90% hit rate line, so it's still a strong edge, but not in that ultra-safe bucket. Think of it as a good value, medium risk spot. So for Dinamo Kiev versus FC Noah, the smart angle for me is over 1.5 goals. We've got the percentages on our side, and the market is paying more than it should. As always, manage your stake, don't overextend, and treat this as one sharp piece of a full betting strategy, not a guaranteed lock. Next up, we go to Switzerland for Lausanne-Sport versus Fiorentina in the Conference League. Lausanne are fighting from the bottom half of the Swiss league, but they play in a modern Stade de la Tuileries, good pitch, and they don't park the bus. They concede, but they also commit bodies forward. Fiorentina come in as the clear favorites, and they're usually involved in open games in Europe. Lots of width, fullbacks high, and they keep pushing even when they're ahead. That style is perfect for goals rather than trying to guess a match winner. My model gives around an 88% hit rate for over 1.5 goals here. That translates to fair odds of about 1.14. The bookies are hanging 1.27 on over 1.5. That implies only about a 79% chance. So we've got roughly a plus 9% value edge on this line. So instead of sweating the result, I'm simply taking Lausanne-Sport versus Fiorentina, over 1.5 goals, playing it as a value goals pick with a strong hit rate and a nice gap between our numbers and the market.